God damn it. I need to find where I was up to now. Because I don't remember where I was up to. You talking about Len's deep voice? Oh god. I need to refresh this page. Oh, I hate it when it does this, man. Whenever I'm reading, I can't see the side, which means that I can't see when it disconnects. My god. I'll stream for a bit, like half hour, and then, yeah. And now I need to get the chat. Oh shit. Okay, no, I need to put that in here. Okay. Okay, okay. I need to find out where in the book I was at. Because I have no goddamn clue. Ah. Okay. I think I remember. I love his voice though, like, Lamonji's voice is incredible. Just as he was thinking this, he suddenly saw Lan Wangji give him a nod, curt and almost imperceptible. It made him unconsciously pause. Lan Wangji had been painfully serious ever since he was young. A principled perfectionist, always so stern and stiff, as if there had never been a time when he was lively. Back then, he'd been extremely against Wei Wuxian cultivating the demonic path. Lan Sijiri should have already informed Lan Wangji of his suspicious behaviour at the Mo estate, yet the man only nodded at him to give him his regards. Wei Wuxian figured he was thanking him for helping the Lan Juniors out, so he immediately returned the gesture without thinking. But when he looked up again, Lan Wangji was already gone. He paused for a moment, then turned to descend the mountain. It didn't matter what prey was on Dafan Mountain, he couldn't pursue it anymore. Wei Wuxian could rob anyone, but not Jinling. He couldn't believe that was Jinling. There were so many disciples in the Jin clan of Lanling that he generally never imagined he might run into Jinling. Had he known, he would never have mocked Jinling with that comment of his, "Didn't your mother teach you any manners?" If anyone else had said that to Jinling, Wei Wuxian would have taught that person what a loose tongue spells trouble meant. But the tongue that said it had been his own. After a moment of standing in silence, Wei Wuxian raised his hand and slapped himself across the face. The reason why he slapped himself is because Jinling is his nephew, and his parents died in the past, both of them, and Wei Wuxian thinks that it's his fault when technically it wasn't. So he feels really bad for saying it because his parents, well, he was, Zhang Cheng is Wei Wuxian's brother or adoptive brother because the Zhang clan adopted Wei Wuxian when he was young. So technically Zhang Cheng is Wei Wuxian's adoptive brother, and Zhang Cheng's sister, which is Zhang Yanli, she was extremely close with Wei Wuxian as well, and all three of them were close when they were very young. When Zhang Yanli got married and had a child, that child was Jinling. So technically Jinling is also Wei Wuxian's nephew as well as Zhang Cheng's. So it's like a family reunion type thing, and that's why he hates himself for saying something about if his mother didn't teach him any manners, because his mother was the best person to ever be across and everything, and he was basically disrespecting her and Jinling as his nephew. So yeah, it's a family reunion, but unfortunately it didn't start very well. And at this point they don't know that this is Wei Wuxian, so yeah, that's why he slapped himself as well, because he would never have imagined that he would meet him, and he hated the fact that he said that because he was so close with his mother. To lose of a tongue. Yeah, he really does. But sometimes he knows when to stop. He just, because of the Jin clan and everything, I think he just wanted to let loose a little bit in his new life. But unfortunately it ended up on the wrong person. And my PC is going berserk. That's lovely. That slap was hard and clear, stinging his right cheek. Suddenly there was rustling in the bushes nearby, and when Wei Wuxian peered over, a spotted donkey emerged. He dropped his hand, and this time the donkey voluntarily approached to rub against it. Wei Wuxian tugged at its long ears and smiled wearily. You wanted to save the damsel in distress, but made me go act the hero instead. The spotted donkey was whining in response, when a wave of cultivators came from the distant end of the hill. After the 400+ immortal binding nets were slashed by Lan Wangji's flying sword, the hesitant cultivators that had lurked in Fuzhou town now swarmed up the mountain anew. They were all technically Jinling's competition, and Wei Wuxian pondered for a moment on whether to beat them back down. After a moment of thought, he silently moved off the path. The reason why he's saying that is because now that he knows that he's just met his nephew, he wants to help him as much as possible. So that's one of the reasons why he's now thinking, oh, shall I, get these people out of Jinling's way so that he can win, just like Zhang Cheng wants him to? Or does he want to stay out of it so that he doesn't get into any more trouble? The group was composed of disciples from various clans, dressed in all sorts of different uniforms. They complained as they went. That Jin Gongzi, the Jin family and the Zhang family both, they all spoil him. So young and already so unreasonable and bossy. It'll be the end of the world if he takes over control of the Jin clan of Landling in the future. We'll be doomed. Wei Wuxian slowed his pace. A soft-hearted girl, Cultivator sighed. How can they not spoil and pamper him? Losing both his parents at such a young age? She may. It doesn't work like that. So what if he lost both his parents? There were plenty of people in the world who've lost their parents. If anyone acted like him, it'd be terrible. That being said, Wei Wuxian really went for it, didn't he? Junling's mother was Zhang Cheng's blood sister, eh? And what's more, she was also the Siji who raised that Wei Wuxian. Yeah, this basically just explains that that his mother was Zhang Cheng's sister, and also the person who raised Wei Wuxian as well. What an injustice for Zhang Yanli too, to have raised such an ingrate, and Jin Zixuan was an even more tragic case, to meet such a horrible end, and just because of some quarrel with Wei Wuxian in the past. Why did Wei Wuxian have quarrels with everyone? Ain't that just the question? Besides that pack of crazy dogs he kept... Oh my god. I'm triggered. Who have you ever heard of getting along with him? He had enemies everywhere. The world despised him. Even Han Gongjun couldn't stand the sight of him. They were always at complete odds with each other. That technically wasn't true. Technically, Han Gongjun or Lan Wangji basically wanted Wei Wuxian to stop on the demonic path because he was losing himself, and he didn't want him to get hurt. And he never hated Wei Wuxian. He might have been annoyed in the past before he got to know Wei Wuxian, but then as he began to have feelings for him, he basically... Oh god, I forgot there's another scene that I want to hear. Oh my god. Okay, never mind. Basically, Wei Wuxian thinks that Lan Wangji hates him. But he doesn't, and he doesn't know that yet. I think... When does he find out? Because I don't even remember. I think later on down the line he'll find out, but yeah. Speaking of, thank goodness for Han Gongjun today. After walking for a while, the sound of a trickling creek suddenly flowed into Wei Wuxian's ears. This was something he hadn't heard on his way here. Only then did Wei Wuxian notice he had taken the wrong path down the mountain and forked off onto another road. He had led the donkey down to the side of the creek. The moon had risen, and the skies above the water was unconcealed by any branches or leaves. The creek was cracked with patches of frosty white, reflected back at him. Wei Wuxian saw a face that distorted with the flow of the water. He slapped the water viciously, shattering that absurd, laughable face. He raised his dripping palms and washed away the powder foundation with the creek water. What the water now reflected was a young man, incredibly handsome and poised, or poised, I don't know how to say that word. He was so pristine. It was as if he had been washed by the moonlight above, with a beaming face and bright eyes, and lips that curved slightly upwards. But when he hung his head to stare at himself, the droplets clinging to his lashes fell relentlessly like tears. This was a young, foreign face. This wasn't the Yiling patriarch Wei Wuxian had once raised the earth and ravaged the world with bloody tempests. He stared at that reflection for a long time before he wiped his face a few more times, rubbing his eyes, and sat down heavily by the creek. Another thing to say about this is that because he's now in someone else's body, he feels foreign to it, because when he looks at the reflection, it's not himself. So for like now, all his life that he has now, for his second life, he's going to be wondering and not liking what he looks like because it's not him. And he always wonders about his old body and everything, and he just doesn't look like himself in this body and everything, and he feels like other people, like Lan Wangji, won't like him because he's in a different body and stuff. I feel like Wei Wuxian can be very confident in what he does, whether it's fighting or whether it may be demonic cultivation. But when it comes to himself, he's very... oh, what is the word? He doesn't feel confident about himself, meaning like the way he looks, the way he dresses, and he actually cares about what he looks like to other people, especially Lan Wangji. And for him to now know that he's no longer in his own body, it affects him quite a bit sometimes. Could be reincarnated into the donkey's body. That's true, but yeah, he's a bit like susceptible to people saying things about him. Well, actually, no, he's not. He doesn't care what other people think of him, because obviously he went through the demonic path, so he doesn't really care about what people think of him. He cares what Lan Wangji thinks of him, though, because he doesn't want to be his enemy, and he wants to be his friend, and then obviously his lover, his husband and everything, in the future, but he does do some self-reflecting on what he looks like, and he doesn't see himself when he looks in mirrors or in like the rivers and stuff in his reflections, so he's a bit he hates that, to be fair. But yeah, he does get a little bit upset sometimes. I mean, everyone does, but yeah. I forgot where I was. He stared at that reflection for a long time before he wiped his face a few more times, rubbing his eyes, and sat down heavily by the creek. It wasn't that he couldn't endure talk. After all, he was already well aware of the path he'd chosen back when he first made his decision. He had already cautioned himself to remember the motto of the Zhang clan of Yongmeng: attempt the impossible. He had truly thought his heart was made of stone, but humans were no stalks of grass, not on feeling, and in the end he was human after all. The little spotted donkey seemed to know he wasn't in a good mood right now, and amazingly, it did not bray impatiently, only swishing its tail while walking away after a moment of quiet. Wei Wuxian sat by the creek and didn't react. It looked back and kicked its hooves. Wei Wuxian still ignored it. So the spotted donkey returned in a huff and caught Wei Wuxian by the hem with its teeth, tugging and pulling. It made no difference to Wei Wuxian whether he stayed or left, so since the donkey had gone as far as to bite him, he went with it. The spotted donkey led him to some trees and started circling around a piece of grass. A Queen Kun bag sat quietly there. Over it hung a broken golden net, so it must have been something an unlucky cultivator dropped when they tried to break free. On the same tier as Shrek's donkey. Lol. Donkeys come in clutch. Wei Wuxian picked up the bag and opened it. Inside was an assortment of items like a bottle gourd of medicinal wine, talismans, and a little Yao reflecting mirror, and so on. He rummaged through the bag for a bit and casually took out a handful of talismans. A ball of flames was suddenly ablaze in his hand. What had just ignited was a yin-burning talisman. Like its name, it used yin energy as fuel and would automatically be ignited upon contact with yin energy. The greater the yin energy, the bigger the flames. It blazed, meaning there were spirits nearby. The moment Wei Wuxian saw the firelight, he raised his guard and probed around for the direction with the torch raised. When he turned eastward, the fire died down. When he turned westward, the fire blazed. He had only taken a few steps in that direction when he saw a slumped form in white appear beneath the tree. The talisman burned out, and remnant embers fell from his fingertips. An elder with his back facing him was grumbling under his breath. Wei Wuxian slowly approached, and the words mumbled from the elder's lips became clearer. "It hurts, it hurts." "Where does it hurt?" Wei Wuxian asked. The head, my head," that elder replied. "Let me take a look," Wei Wuxian said. He circled around to the elder's side and saw a large bloody gaping hole on his forehead. This was the soul of the dead, probably killed by way of some weapon to the head. He was wearing funeral clothes, their material and cut both of high quality, meaning he had already been properly buried. This wasn't the soul of the living that a human had lost, but a soul of the dead should never have appeared on Mount Dafan. Wei Wuxian couldn't come up with a plausible explanation for this. Feeling uneasy, he hopped onto the back of the donkey, gave it a slap and a shout, and urged it to chase in the direction that Jinling and the others had approached the mountain. So now he's quite curious at why the spirit was there, and he has like this inkling that something is going to happen, so he's going back to where Jinling was and seeing if he's okay or if there's any like ruckus going on up on the mountain. How far are we from the next chapter? Oh, a small chunk, which is crazy to think about. At that point, I think we would almost be halfway through the book, which is crazy. The first book. At some point, I do want to, like, once I finish reading Modazushi and Heaven Official's Blessings novel books, I may do the comic books online. So I may go through the manhwa and just read them, because I do love the manhwa. But yeah. Here we go. There were a number of cultivators pacing near the old graveyard, intending to wait for a windfall. Someone had brazenly raised a spirit attraction flag, only to summon a bunch of wailing souls. Wei Wuxian pulled the reins, scanning the area, and asked loudly, "Excuse me, might I ask where the little Gonzo of the Jin family and Lan family have gone?" As expected, there were actually responses now that he'd washed his face. A cultivator answered, "They left this place and went to the Shrine of the Heavenly Maiden." "The Shrine of the Heavenly Maiden?" Wei Wuxian asked. The family of independent cultivators from the countryside had also snuck back up the mountain after hearing the immortal binding nets have been destroyed and joined the night patrol. I need a drink. Oh god damn, my fucking throat. The middle-aged man saw that his clothes, along with that teeth-bearing donkey, looked like those of a lunatic who had rescued them earlier. Feeling somewhat awkward at the realization, he pretended nothing was the matter, but the round-faced girl pointed the way. "That way. It's a stone cave shrine at the top of the mountain." Wei Wuxian questioned, "Which deity is worshipped in that shrine?" I think it's a natural form stone statue of a heavenly maiden." Wei Wuxian nodded. "Thank you." Then he hurriedly dashed in the direction of the shrine of the heavenly maiden. The deadbeat marriage, the coffin struck by lightning, the fiancé killed by jackals, the father and daughter who lost their souls consecutively, the extravagant funeral clothes, dead by bead by bead, everything was being threaded together to form a complete string. No wonder the compass of ill winds couldn't point in the right direction. And the spirit attraction flag was even more useless. They had all underestimated the creature on Daffon Mountain, because it wasn't what they thought it was at all. Meanwhile, Lansidri and company had already moved on to the shrine of the Heavenly Maiden in search of clues after coming up empty-handed when investigating the old graveyard. In Mount Daffan, besides the ancestral graves belonging to the townspeople of Fuja town, there was also a shrine of the Heavenly Maiden. It was neither Buddha nor Bodhisattvas, I don't know how to say that, that were worshipped in the shrine, but a dancing Heavenly Maiden. Centuries ago, a hunter from Fuja town travelled deep into the mountains and discovered a strange rock within a cave. It was nearly 3 meters tall, naturally formed, and looked extraordinarily like a human, with all its limbs posed as if it danced. What was more incredible was that the 5 features of this stone statue statue's face were vaguely recognizable, resembling the smiling face of a woman. The people of Fujo town were greatly amazed. They believed this was a divine rock forged by the gathering of spiritual chi between heaven and earth, and they fabricated many of its related myths themselves. There was one about an immortal lord who was secretly in love with Juituen Shanyu and carved a statue in her image to elevate the misery of longing. When the Shanyu discovered it, she was enraged, and the incomplete statue was never heard of again. There was also another where the Jade Emperor had a beloved daughter who passed early, and his longing for her manifested as this statue. There were all sorts of stories, and all were mind-boggling. Eventually, the townspeople began to truly believe these constructed myths were told to each other. And so the stone cave was renovated into a divine shrine, the stone platform carved into a divine altar, and the stone statue was thus worshipped as the dancing Heavenly Maiden, with year-round offerings. I'm going to finish this page off and then I will start to end the stream. The interior of the cave was as spacious as a double-entranced temple, and that statue of the Heavenly Maiden stood in its centre. At first glance, it certainly did very much resemble a human. Even the waistline could be said to be wonderfully graceful. However, one began to notice how rudimentary it was upon closer examination. Nonetheless, that a naturally formed object could resemble a human to this degree was already quite the marvel. Lan Jingyi raised the compass of ill winds high up, then down low, yet the needle was unmoved. Upon the altar was a mess of candle wax residue and a thick layer of incense ash, and the smell of rotten sweetness wafted from the offering plates. The people of the Lan Clan Ogusu were all at least a little germophobic, so he fanned the air in front of his nose. I hear the locals say prayers made at the shrine of the Heavenly Maiden are very effective, so why is it so run down? Why isn't anybody clearing this place? Lan Sidri replied, 7 people consecutively lost their souls, and rumours say it's some fierce fiend that came out of the ancestral graves after lightning struck, so everyone is scared of coming up the mountain. Since the worshippers stopped coming, there's naturally no one to clean up either. A disdained voice sounded from outside the cave. Nothing but a crappy hunk of rock. Who knows who bestowed it in its divinity and had the audacity to place it here for worship. Jin Ling entered with his hands folded behind his back, but the silent spell hadn't lasted long, and his mouth could open once more. However, he had nothing good to say the moment said mouth opened. He humphed, peering at the statue of the Heavenly Maiden. And that's about it. We're on page 92 now, and what page is the new chapter? I think we stop chapter 3 at page 117, so we don't have that long to go. So in the next stream next week, we should be able to finish chapter 3, and then move on to chapter 4, which is called The Elegant Flirt, which I believe I already know what it entails, but yeah. That will be the end of this stream. Oh my god. Okay. Well, I don't know what you guys think about the book or like the actual story so far in Murazushi, but we're coming up to some good stuff, some fighting scenes, some flirty scenes that Wei Wuxian is shameless with. I'm hoping we get to hear it anyway, because I'm pretty sure the novel has them. Because everything was based upon the novels anyway. So, yeah, I cannot wait for certain things that's gonna slowly come up. But yeah, Elegant Flirt to Incense Burner. I wish. But to be fair, the Incense Burner chapters, oh my god, he's definitely a big fucking flirt. So, yeah, we're gonna have some fighting scenes, some flirty scenes. We're gonna find out more about the demonic hand, which we heard about last stream. And then the mystery continues. And then something else happens, which I cannot wait for, because Wei Wuxian is flirty as fuck and doesn't realise it. But yeah, hopefully the story is going well, and hopefully you guys like it. Obviously, BL is not for everyone, and neither is Yaoi or Yuri, but because I'm into GL and BL like things, I don't mind doing these types of things. But it's also a way of me reading the books, because if it wasn't for actually doing these streams, I probably wouldn't read the books, because I watch the anime or the donghua of the different shows. So I'm glad this gives me an opportunity to actually read the books, because I only have read the comics or the manhwa. So yeah. So I hope you guys enjoy. I have made it official now that every Wednesday we are going to be doing the novel reading. So every Wednesday I will be doing novel reading until I finish this book, and then we'll move on to the next book. For my lol, it's definitely not boring. Oh. One of these days I'll make reaction videos to the actual episodes of the donghua, because then once we finish the novels and stuff, it's better to visually see it. So I may do reaction videos, because I need to edit the videos to actually do it, but here's hoping that I can do that. So when it comes to doing that, I'm hoping that you guys will enjoy that as well, because it's very fun. But yeah, I will think about different things that I want to do in the future for that. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this stream, guys. Tomorrow, I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I'll probably decide that later on today, or tomorrow morning, depending on what I'm doing. But yeah, I think that will be the end of this stream for today. And we will continue to stream tomorrow morning, 11 AM GMT, and just continue from there. I think that's all she wrote. But yeah, if you guys have any, like, novels, or like Chinese donghua that you want me to have a look at, and if you guys recommend them, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, we'll try and see if there's anything in the future that I can possibly do. So, I hope you enjoyed the stream, guys. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, like, and share if you guys would like to. If you haven't already, go follow on my social media. I have my Twitter and my Instagram that's been set up. My Instagram is mainly for like schedules and stuff like that I need to post actually. But I also have my Discord as well. If you guys want to chat while I'm not streaming and stuff. I do try and update that as best I can and add new things to it, so if you guys want to join that as well, then by all means you can do so. I think while I am not working right now, I'm going to try and sort out my description for my channel so that it has all the links to my different stuff for you guys, so it's easier to get to. But yeah, I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you, Vachesh, for coming into the stream today. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning, 11 AM GMT, for the next daily stream. So, I don't know what's going on with my model right now. She seems to be... Oh, there she is. I don't know what was going on like that. And I don't know what's going on with my model at the moment because it doesn't seem to be moving the mouth, which is quite odd. I'll try and sort that out after the stream, because I don't know what's going on with it. So, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the stream, and I will catch you guys tomorrow for the next day's stream. And, yeah, go from there. So, until then, guys, thank you all for watching, and see you later. Peace out. Take care, bye. See you later, Vashesh. Oh no, the thing is broken. It's not responding. Oh good heavens, I can't even end my stream. I don't know if it's even ending. OBS says stop responding. Until it stops responding. Oh no! Oh no, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to do, it just says not responding, so I don't know. Oh no, it's begun to go white. Oh no. Transmissive stream starts now. No! Oh no. Stream. OBS, please. Oh, come on, please. Oh my god. Can I end the stream through this instead? I don't know if I can do it through YouTube Studio. Because OBS seems to not be working. I can't do anything, my PC is screwed up. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay, well... Can't do anything. I don't know what's going on anymore. Analytics, can I see the analytics? No. Nothing is working. What if I completely shut down the program? Let's see if it'll actually do it. Or if my PC will actually work. If not, then I'm gonna have to restart my PC. Pull the plug? Yeah, I was gonna say, if I can't sort it out, then I'm probably gonna have to turn off my PC. And do a restart. Which, at this point, I think is the case. I can't even close the program, so... yeah, if this does close the stream when I restart my PC, thank you all for